To be or not to be, that is the question. And today I've got a lot of questions for Marsha Niemeijer, founder of the Bangkok Shakespeare Troupe. Marsha is producing Shakespeare's Midsummer's Night's Dream in Thai. We're in the library at the Siam, a Bensley design hotel at Bangkok's Riverside. And to quote William Shakespeare, boldness be my friend, and you are watching Trends. Marsha,
Hi.
Tell us about the Bangkok Shakespeare Troupe.
Oh my God, where do I even start? Been working on it for a while now. We're the first and the only Shakespeare acting troupe in Thailand at the moment, and I'm very, very proud of it. We are a cast of actors and artists, and we're bringing the bar to Bangkok.
So you're performing a Shakespeare play in English in Bangkok.
In Thai. We're doing it in Thai. Yes.
That is insane. When I first heard about this, I couldn't get my brain around this, that somebody has translated Shakespeare into Thai.
Yeah, I am not the first to translate Shakespeare into Thai. However, I do think we are the first to translate, well, no, A Midsummer's Night's Dream has been translated before. However, this is the only translation at the moment in print and usable. I decided to translate it because...
Hold on, you translated?
Yes, I translated it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. How on earth do you go about the old poetic language of Shakespeare and translating that into Thai? So you must have like dual language abilities, basically.
Yes, I can dual languages, definitely. I'm definitely bilingual. I know a couple languages up my sleeve, but English and Thai are my two main. And unfortunately, the answer to how did I decide to go about it, it's a very nerdy answer, which is that I've always really loved Shakespeare ever since I was really young. And so I always found myself coming back to his stories and his characters for every project that I kind of end up doing. Starting this, I decided I really wanted to work with Thai actors. And so there was only one way to go about it with no other usable translation in print at all of A Midsummer's Night's Dream. There's Romeo and Juliet, I'm pretty sure. There's a couple of the tragedies that have been translated very, very long time ago. But usable right now, contemporary, I couldn't find any in my research. And so I decided one day, I guess I'll do it, and I did it.
How long did it take you to translate that work into Thai?
I spent basically the last year just locked myself up in my studio.
It's not a weekend project,
no,
basically.
Not at all. It was very much do not disturb me in my art studio for 7 to 8 months, and every night kind of howling at the moon, going crazy by myself.
You've translated this into Thai, and then you take it into the creative field. Can you find actors that are willing to perform Shakespeare in Thai?
Yeah, so after translating it, again, I decided to translate it because I really wanted to work with Thai actors. This is one of the things that I found. It was an art region that I was most excited about. I wanted to work with artists, performing artists, visual artists, and with such a creative art scene here in Thailand, I knew that this was where I needed to go. And especially in the performing arts, which is not a disciplinary that I am usually, and I'm not an actor. And so this was something I decided I was going to translate it and collaborate with Thai actors. It's a really risky place to be, but at the same time, it's the most exciting place to be, and it's where good art happens. And so after I decided I was going to translate it, I translated, finished it, did a casting call, got a whole bunch of auditions, which is crazy to me, but everyone was really enthusiastic about it. Fearless, entirely fearless, which is probably why they're a part of my troupe, which is why they're casted. But so excited to do this project. And yeah, I got a lot of young professional actors within the fields of both film and performing arts. And so it's been a lot of experimentation, and it's been a lot of learning, again, which is where the most exciting art happens.
How many actors currently comprise of the Bangkok Shakespeare Company?
We have 14 actors. Yes, we have 14 actors, and we have 6 artists at the moment.
So having done the translation, which is an epic feat in itself, I'm in awe, how have you approached the creative styling of the sets, and is it a period piece that's just been a direct translation? Are you infusing contemporary elements? How have you gone about this in the creative process?
So a little bit about me. I'm an interdisciplinary artist, writer, director. All of my projects thus far, my whole life basically, I've worked in a very interdisciplinary way, which is I write and then I draw, and then after I have those drawings, I have the visions, I kind of translate it into a thing that the story needs to be. Sometimes it's a grand painting, and sometimes it's a film, and sometimes, and in this case, it's a play. And when I was translating it, I also had already drawn out character designs and set designs, and I knew the colors that needed to be in the show. I knew each character's backstories and accessories and what they needed to look like. So I've drawn it all out. I have storyboards, I have character designs, everything. And so that was kind of the creative way of going about it, is basically bringing over all of my sketches and all of my ideas and my old art and my work to my artists that I've handpicked and hand selected, and I knew they had an artist eye, and I said, these are all the things in my brain, and this is the way I draw, and this is how I draw, this is how I paint leaves, and this is how I paint twigs. How do we do this? How do we incorporate each costume? How can we put a real handmade touch to everything so it looks like there's been a real soul, a real artist behind all of it? So I've drawn all of it out. I've written all of it out, and basically I'm working very closely with my artists to kind of make it almost like a painting coming to life. Wow. In every aspect.
So Marsha, you've got this great concept down on paper. I presume sometime in the future you're going to go into production.
Yes, we have been in rehearsal now for 2 months.
Hold on, rehearsals?
Yes.
So it's actually happening,
yes,
you have a production.
It's absolutely happening. It's absolutely, I am ecstatic every single time I'm in rehearsals with my actors. I love them dearly, and both my actors and my artists, actually, they are unbelievable collaborators to me. I am so lucky to have found such teammates. They're all extremely fearless and so dedicated and talented, of course, but just fearless in the way that they are treating the production, which is what I ask for as well, because it's also the way that I approach.
Do you have a director that you brought on board?
Or? Oh no, I'm directing it.
Yes, I suppose it's your baby, isn't it?
Yes, it is my baby. Yeah, so I'm technically, I guess I'm the director, I'm the translator / writer, and I'm also the lead artist and the founder of the troupe. So it's a bit of it's a lot.
Lead artist,
yes.
In terms of what?
Because it's kind of I am hand painting all of this, the posters and the playbills and the illustrations, and I've done the concepts and all of that stuff. So yes, it is kind of my baby. Yeah, I'm very excited about it, and it's no longer a concept at all. It is definitely, we've been rehearsing now for 2 months, like I said, and we are continuing to rehearse until our real shows at the BACC, the Bangkok Arts and Culture Center, on November 12th to 15.
Wow.
Yes.
November 12 to 15, make a note of those dates. Yes. Where can we buy tickets?
Oh, that is still kind of under wraps.
Okay.
But if you would like to keep updated on the project, I am updating quite frequently on our Instagram page at Bangkok Shakespeare. So you can find us on Instagram, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on our website, bangkokshakespeare.com. But to really keep updated, Instagram is where it is.
Is there an audience for Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream in Thai? Because do the Thais know Shakespeare? You do, but you're multicultural. Is there a Thai audience?
Absolutely, there's a Thai audience. I am far from the first person to adapt Shakespeare in Thai. I was just at an adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. So Shakespeare is known everywhere around the world, and Thailand is no exception, and Thai actors are no exception, and Thai audiences are no exception. What is different here, I believe that because of the way everyone has been kind of taught all around the world about Shakespeare, it's not how I see his work, but I do think there's a real level of intimidation that comes along with Shakespeare. To me, he's always been, and his work has always been extremely accessible, extremely funny, very relatable. There's no other way to be in order to maintain this level of legacy. You have to be accessible. You have to be accessible through years and languages and generations and everything, and that's what his work is. And one thing that I think always kind of gets slipped under the rug with Shakespeare is how fun and accessible, easy it kind of is. It's not easy. It's a little bit like learning a new language. Once you get the language down, the stories are timeless. It's not hard to follow. The characters are hilarious. Even the tragedies are fun and accessible. And I think that's something that I, at least in my power, with the Bangkok Shakespeare Troupe, would like to change about it a little bit. A Midsummer Night's Dream is a comedy. It's one of his most romantic comedies, one of his most famous romantic comedies, and it's supposed to be accessible. It's supposed to make people laugh, and it's supposed to make people say, "Oh my God, I recognize that." And it's contemporary. It will always be contemporary. That's what Shakespeare is, and it's not at all intimidating. So the way that I've been approaching directing and translating is I've been really thinking about what this story means to me right now, what's important to me, what's relatable to me as an audience and as the artist. And I'm pleased to say that as we've been rehearsing, it also seems to be connecting very much with my actors, which I'm very, very excited about. And I try my very best not to think about too many people getting involved, too many thoughts about audiences and everything, but knowing that it's been relatable to me, knowing that it's been funny to me, that it's been touching to me, and that it's been touching and funny and accessible and workable with my actors, I really do hope that when we do go onto our stage, that if I've done my job right, that it will be funny and accessible, and it will change the perspective of Shakespeare's texts a little bit. Just everywhere, honestly, he's not really scary. He's not his texts are not scary. I don't really know why people are terrified.
I'm daunted by Shakespeare, but then again, as an 8-year-old, our English teacher had us reading Twelfth Night, and it was so difficult as an 8-year-old to try and comprehend. So I've been very averse to Shakespeare, but that's why I'm in awe of what you've done. Now, to try and grasp this, the styling, have you gone with costumes that are traditional Old English, like you'd expect Shakespearean, or have you got a contemporary twist?
There is nothing that you could expect from the Bangkok Shakespeare Troupe, A Midsummer Night's Dream. We are doing things that are completely out of the box.
Great.
So no, it is not traditional Old English costumes. They are snatched right from my drawings. It's a little bit like my drawings coming to life. The fairies live in their own world where there are their own stylings and their own aesthetics to it, and the Athenians are in a completely different garment as well. It transcends time and transcends space and transcends style entirely.
Translating the poetic language of Shakespeare into Thai, have you had to adjust, bring in your own comedic elements that is adapted for a Thai audience, or have you faithfully translated the humour of Shakespeare into Thai, hoping the Thai audience will understand and accept the comedy and the tragedy and everything that goes with the play?
It's a little bit of both. When I started translating it, I really tried to stay as true as possible. I tried to stay word for word with certain things. But at the same time, I approached the translation. I remember the day very, very clearly when I decided I was going to translate it. I basically said to myself, I'm approaching it with the utmost love and respect for the guy and for the play. Couldn't find a bigger fan. But at the same time, because this is an entirely new adaptation and a new translation and for a different audience, I knew that there were things that I needed to cut, and I knew that there were things I needed to add, and I knew that there were things that, oh my God, the audacity that I needed to kind of, like, oh my Lord, I'm gonna have to do this. But I knew. So what I had to do was I sat myself down and I really thought about what was important to me with this play as the director, as the creator behind it. What were the themes that were calling to me? What were the things that I felt I needed to get through in this particular production that I am making? And so I translated the text, and while I was translating text, I could find little bits and pieces that I knew I wanted to keep this line. This was an important line to me. I translated it word for word, tried to even do iambic pentameter if I could, but I couldn't keep the whole thing. You know, there were certain things I couldn't keep iambic pentameter. Yeah. But word for word, I tried to do it as much as I can, until there were certain lines that I said, well, now it's ruining the dynamic of the scene. Now it's slowing things down, and I had to cut them. And then I had to cut certain scenes that I was like, you know what, it doesn't serve my play. So there were things that I knew wouldn't serve the play, this play, that I had to cut, and I knew there were certain things that this play needed extra that I needed to add in. So I tried to be as accurate as I could, with a little bit of a twist every now and then. And yeah, in terms of the jokes, in terms of the comedic timing, I really didn't do too much. Again, I think his jokes translates through time and space and generations and audiences. So, and a lot of it actually goes credit also to the actors.
Have they provided input as you've gone along?
Well, it basically has been a lot of collaboration. Again, I would like to think I'm a director who's very collaborative with my team, and so we have been really workshopping each character and my views of them and their views of the character and what they'd like to bring in, what they're interested in doing. This is another thing about the Bangkok Shakespeare Troupe that I am very focused in. It's also about experimentation, both in the performing arts and in the visual arts. So it's been a lot of talking about what are things that you haven't done before that you really would like to explore, because I'm going to explore it with you. And so it's been a lot of, this seems fun to me, can we do this? And the text and the direction kind of changes and morphs and has its own life as we rehearse. It's the beauty of theater, really. It's everything coming to life just in front of your eyes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
How long is the production? So if I come along and see the play, to try and fit everything in with your tweaks and a few adjustments, how long is it?
We're trying to keep it around 2 hours.
And what you're doing is so important from a cultural and artistic perspective. Do you have sponsors?
I have a few, but I'm always looking for more, because the more sponsors we get, the more delicate things can become, and the more I can really focus on certain aspects.
So potential patron sponsors, how do they contact you?
Marsha at BangkokShakespeare.com. Yeah, just the website. That's all me.
We know the dates, we know where, and we're just waiting now for ticket release.
Yes.
I wish you great success with the production,
so much.
and more productions obviously must be in the pipeline once you've had success with this first epic. It is awesome. I was gobsmacked when I heard about what you were doing and just had to find out more. Thanks so much for coming along to Trends today, Marsha.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching this Shakespearean episode of Trends. Stay tuned on those dates, stay tuned for tickets, and see you next Friday.